Don't try to give me your rehearsed
Yeah.
answer. I asked you a different question.
Huh?
I didn't ask you the question on your paper. I asked you a different question.
You're right. I'm ready. Let's get it. Restart.
Because I was going to say that your name has changed a lot over time. I was going to add that caveat, but I didn't want to.
Okay, cool. Let's get the
Okay.
authenticity though. I ain't gonna do that again. Go.
Okay.
I was rolling.
We can just go? Who is David today? The reason I asked, who are you today, is because your name has changed a lot in your lifetime.
Right. Honestly, I still don't think I know exactly who I am right now. I think that growing up, just doing different things and being in different stuff like sports and I guess now fashion, you kind of just constantly see yourself changing and growing and becoming a better you. So I think now I'm kind of getting into my fullest form, I guess you could say. But I don't think David or Dave is have a solid answer right now.
How much does your environment play a role in your life?
It plays a big role in my life just because, I mean, if you look at when I grew up, like growing up in Chicago in that area, you growing up there, dressing there is like, and I'll just talk about it in the fashion sense because I guess that's easiest for me, but you growing up, True Religions, you know, you got the Burberry collar shirts, like that's the drip, like that's what you wearing, you know, and then I moved to Houston and then, or Spring, but you see a different way of dressing and it's a constant change. And I went to Atlanta and then I think that's where I saw like actual fashion and I fell in love with it. And I think like that environment just plays a huge role in, from a fashion sense, it plays a huge role in learning new things and what you're accustomed to.
You mentioned that you moved around and lived in 3 different places.
Right.
So, what have you been doing with your time lately? Where have you been lately?
So, lately, I've been in Houston with my family. We've been having a good time, but I've been kind of tucked off, I guess you could say. I got off social media for the month of June. Really tried to hone in on a couple things that I found that I like fashion. I started doing boxing. I started learning about art. Just really learning about things that give me a drive, and also finding that drive through, I've been reading books by Tim Grover, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's old trainer, Kings and Gods fashion book. So stuff like that, just trying to really hone in and be me, find me too, I guess you could say.
You mentioned that you've been boxing. That's a little out of the box. How did you decide to get into boxing?
Right, good question. So honestly, so I read the book Winning by Tim Grover, and it talked about like that insatiable just want to win, like at all costs, I want to be the greatest at whatever I do. And I didn't mention, but I started eating healthy as well. And that was just me saying I'm trying to master and be great at everything in life, and not just me learning fashion, or not just me being physically the greatest I could be, but mentally, physically, everything. Like if you want to master something, you have to completely master it. So that's what I did. Boxing was my way of being physically dominant. And I mean, even being in the gym, like I'm there every day. I might not be the best, but y'all gonna see me in there every day. And that's my way of being like, putting that fear factor. Like Michael Jordan, his fear factor in his opponent, you're gonna see me in there every day working. 2.5 hours, I'm there. When y'all stopping, I'm going. Just being dominant and great. That's kind of, that was a long, extended answer, but yeah.
What does hard work mean to you?
It means everything now. I'm not going to sit here and cap like I've always been some like just extremely hard worker, but I think as I've grown, it's become a huge part of me just because I feel like it's something that I say like you can be talented or you can have a gift, right? A God-given gift, but without hard work, what are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess I should put that in a better term, but I can control what I can control. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. I can control what I can control. I'm sorry. I said that a little weird, but yeah, like I'm gonna control what I can control. If I know that you have more of a God-given gift, I can outwork you. What you won't do is outwork you. I don't know, but yeah, you won't outwork me.
What people influence you?
Recently I got a lot of new influences, just from studying fashion and stuff like that. But I guess I just gotta name them off. Bari from ASAP Bari, just because authenticity, being you, being yourself wherever you are. Samuel Ross, the owner of the Cold Wall, just him integrating where he's from into his clothing. Matthew Williams of Elite, kind of having that same path. He started off in sports and then slowly found his way into fashion. Just kind of that path, I guess you could say. Virgil for being that trendsetter, creating a new fashion. The Heron Prestons of the world, or the ASAP Rockies of the world. I don't know if I missed. Oh, I like Eric Snowden, just for being a revolutionary. He's cold. He went against the U.S. government. That was cold. I just liked it just because I like revolutionaries. But
Who's in your ear? Who are you listening to?
Honestly, I've been going like way back lately. Like I've been on the old tunes, a lot of like Gucci Mane, Lil Wayne. I've been going back like Jill Scott, the older Jill Scott. The revolution will not be televised. Jill Scott. Of course, always Uzi, Cardi. But I've been really going back listening to old music. For sure.
How do you see yourself impacting the culture?
I see myself being that newer version of a Virgil. Because I think when you look at art movements over time, you see the constant change. Like if you look at the Baroque time period, you go to Rococo, which is right after that, it's always a change over the next 20 some odd years. There's a change. Art will constantly change, and fashion is a form of art. So fashion will constantly change, and you see that with the new streetwear movement. Like, this whole streetwear movement was not here 10, 20, 15 years ago. Well, I guess you could say it was. I'm not going to say that, but it changes, and things come back, and things... So my kind of look and take, I really like Raf Simons. I forgot to mention him. But being the Raf Simons of my generation, Virgil has streetwear. My path is to find what's next.
So for people that don't know Raf Simons.
Who is?
Yeah.
Raf Simons is crazy. I got up on him actually, I was talking to Spencer about this on Grill. I would just look at clothes, and I would always see Raf Simons, like Raf, what was Raf Simons? And I got him on his archive pieces, and he has like the most craziest design. And then I started watching interviews on him, and just like his thought process behind making clothes and the designs that he makes. You know, working with Calvin Klein, working with I forgot what else he worked with, but all those different like archive pieces and stuff. They're like nothing you've ever seen before. I guess you could say in a simpler term, but yeah, that's kind of.
Why fashion?
I like fashion personally just because I feel like it's my way of showing me without having to. You don't have to speak. You don't have to say, "This is Dave." Fashion shows itself. I could walk in a room with my whatever I like, some sicko pants on or something, and that shows who I am, or at least is a extension of who I am, without me speaking it or something like that. I don't know.
Where do you see fashion in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it's hard to tell, but like I said earlier, I think that's my mission, my goal, to find where it's supposed to go. Like I said, I hope that it would go in the direction of Raf Simons and kind of that style again, but who am I to tell? I think you just kind of gotta find it.
You talk a lot about the changes in fashion. What are your thoughts about the fact that everything comes around again in fashion?
I think that's awesome. I think it's crazy. Even like talking to older people, and you mentioned like a bathing ape. You see, like your parents know what bathing ape is. Like that's just crazy to me because I just, you know what I'm saying, like 2-3 years ago I got up on bathing ape, and then I don't know, it's just crazy, and I think it's cool because you can always pay homage to older collections and archive pieces and designers through new work and just finding newer ways to kind of feed off their work. So I like that.
Where do you plan on going with your brand?
So it started off as a streetwear brand, right? And I think I'll kind of continue on the streetwear for maybe a couple more drops. But like I said, I do want to like transition into a more avant-garde, more something that is more of a what I want to say, reflection of me. I don't. Streetwear is cool, but like where I'm at with it now, it's not really where I want my brand to be. I think streetwear is cool for this time period, but I want a brand that'll be able to last, or somebody will look at it 30 years from now like, oh, yeah, Dave was hard. And I mean, if you look at like a Virgil, his brand stands out more than others because he made that leap and went against.
You think you sound crazy?